that one. Okay.
I have to do that too. Okay.
Well, you don't have to. It's up to you.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see how you go. Good old Zoom.
Leave it with me. I've got this.
Okay.
Yes, you do.
I have complete faith that you'll be just fine.
And all else fails, Coralie's there to support me as
Mm.
well.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we'll get
Yeah,
through it.
We
you all know
will.
how to
Thank you,
do it.
darling.
You don't need me.
We do. We do.
Well,
Life
I'm
wouldn't be
pretty
the
bad.
same.
Mm. And I'm
Well,
pretty bad at remembering to record. It's not my strong suit.
I bet it is.
Not all the time.
It's interesting because, and I'm going to use the phrase that Swabby used in all my travels. Um, People say things like that, and that's usually their strong point. It's just that they're
Um,
perhaps not necessarily keen on doing it. What do you reckon, Coralie?
oh, I reckon that I've just had a bad run lately of not recording
yeah.
stuff. I'm like, oh, I'm recording this and I'm not recording it.
Um,
Really annoying. So it probably usually is my strong shit suit. I just, yeah, because I've failed a couple of times lately. It's a bit raw.
well, how did our lessons go this week?
They
Oh,
went pretty good.
Now that you've only got one lesson on your computer, Gary, has it gone better?
what?
It
What?
actually has gone a little bit better.
Uh-huh.
Have all your post-its gone?
Yes, they are actually.
Oh,
I have
wow.
I have eliminated them.
Wow.
No.
Well, they're
Did you
still
journal
there.
them?
Say again?
Did you journal them? Like put them into a book?
Um, no, I didn't. I
You
figured they're
just
either in me or they're not in me. So I've just I'm just winging it now because there's always
Oh,
stuff that we can do.
yeah.
that's incredible, Gary. That's quite big. How long have you had those around your computer screen for?
Let's see.
Since we started
Pretty
3 years ago.
much.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
Wow. That's
that's a
what, two
lot
and a
of
half
post-it
years
notes.
worth.
Yeah.
Wow. Unreal. Well, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Saying.
Cool.
So, do you want to share how any more details on how you went? Or
Yeah.
yeah.
I found that I just made a mistake in my email communication, so I'm
Cool.
preoccupied.
Distracted.
Now I'm back. Okay, so I found that not judging anyone and being very fastidious about it is really hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard. Like that means if I watch TV, can't judge. If I have weird, bizarre interactions with weird, bizarre people, can't judge. And so, I mean, I can judge, but it is, it is, again, we go back to judgment with discernment or judgment with condemnation. And judgment with condemnation always lowers your energy. So I've been hit with a lot of very tempting experiences to judge people on. And I think on a scale of 1 to 10, probably an 8 did pretty good. I catch
Yeah.
myself, and that's pretty good.
Mm.
So
So,
is it just a practice thing, or is it something that would just be difficult even with practice, in your
oh,
opinion?
I think no matter how much you practice, um, it would be difficult
Mhm. Yeah.
because there's so much going on in the world right now that you're just your head kind of spins.
Mm.
And I need to never read Yahoo News. That's what I have to stop. That's when I have to stop. So that will serve me.
I
Mm.
just recently gone onto Telegram. Oh my God, blows my mind.
Well, you know what? I don't think culturally any of us are supposed to know. Never in human history has everyone known about everything that's going on in the world. And so if we take it all in, it really it really doesn't serve us at all because it is actually, I think humanity's always done this, been inhumane to one another, but now we know about it globally. And it's interesting
Mm,
that you have to really turn down the dial on your exposure. That's one of the ways that I'm practicing
mm.
is
There was
having less exposure to everything.
there was a movie I was watching last night, and it's just a Marvel Comics thing, Captain America. He's so cute. But there was a thing right at the very beginning where they said, as long as humans are around, there will never be peace. And I really thought about that and thought it's quite right, just because of what you said, Gary. You know,
Yeah.
humans are just a violent race, really. Not saying everybody is,
No,
Yeah.
but
well,
you get the wrong people in power, like we have right around the world, and will continue to have the wrong people in power. Um, there's never going to be peace. Can't happen. Because if you don't
Quite
have it on a global scale, it's still going to be like within a community or a household, or, you know, there's always going to be something.
Well, I think Dr. David Hawkins said it best. Where else will souls go to learn
mm,
other than such a experientially diverse place as Earth?
Yeah.
So it's all got a plan. It's all teaching profound lessons. And I think if we stay in our lanes and learn our lesson individually, then we come good.
Mm.
Coralie, I see you've been starting to talk and haven't got there. I'm dying to
I
hear
was
what
just
you've got
saying,
to
I
say.
disagree. I don't think that we're doomed. I think that we can ascend.
I don't think we're doomed. Sorry, I wasn't trying to make it sound like that, although it probably does. Mm.
Well, it's
That was,
okay.
that was probably actually my language because I was listening to a thing about that last night. But yeah, I think that um, most of us, most of the time, are not at war and not doing all the shit things to each other.
Mm.
I agree. And if we really were in touch with everything that's going on in the world, and we're not, if we're watching the news,
Oh my
we're
God.
only getting the shit.
That's
Exactly.
We
because
actually knew
that's what
everything.
sells.
Yeah, if we're actually looking at everything that's going on in the world, there's only this much shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'd be looking at art and amazing,
Yeah,
beautiful things that people are doing.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, exactly.
And they are doing beautiful things daily.
Mm, mm.
Yeah. And I think it's
Look at
easier to
us.
see that when you are just focused on your community and you can support each other, you know each
Mm.
other, and you have to get along because it's a small community. I mean, I'm talking about Nan up here. So you just have to get along. If there's people that you don't like, you still have to find a way to deal with them
And
in
that's the
a,
same with Minleton as well, because we
yeah.
would be probably a little bit bigger than you, maybe, but 700 and something people.
Hmm.
But you're quite right. Even the people that you don't particularly have any common interests or anything, there's always something that you can find that's good in them.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the job of the Course in Miracles, to tell you the truth, because I think the intent throughout the entire course says the same thing over and over and over and over again, is that you walk hand in hand with your brothers and sisters into heaven. When you quit judging and condemning, what happens is you enter into a more ascended space. And that is, I think, what Corley was referring to, that we can ascend but it's through our ability to accept the Holy Spirit, if we use the Course of Miracles language, in every single living thing. And then it becomes, rather than a world of separation, a world of unification. I'm not saying it's easy, but I am saying that's the way, because we can meditate, we can do all of those things that create more ascension inside of us, but we're doing that an hour to 2 hours a day, if that. And the rest of the time, our mind is separating itself off from everything around us, judging the creation like crazy. And it's like, of course, everything happens by the repetition. So what's going to win? The repetition, of course, of judgment condemnation is going to win. So the job, I think, of us studying the Course in Miracles is to reverse that and see how much unification we can actually witness and experience. I'm not saying it's easy because it's not, but I don't think that there's another game in town worth playing, to tell you the truth.
Mhm.
I think that's the game worth playing.
This is valuable conversation.
Well, I think so.
It
Yeah.
is. It
I think
is.
so.
And Coralie, I wasn't dismissing what you said by any means at all. But you know, you hear the word doom and you think, oh my God, like the whole world is going to crash down on me type scenario. So no, I'm grateful that you actually said that, because it makes you think. It wasn't the way my mind was thinking. Mm. Mm. So thank
The
you.
best thing is that we will go there, because I could have been there really easy, Linda. But I've been working my to judge another a choice to continue the separation from God, choose wisely. How can I go there and stay there if that's my lesson for the week? So yeah.
Wonderful. Who else wants to share their lesson?
Yeah, well, mine was God wills you perfect happiness now, which was, lovely most of the time. But then just before I was a bit harumphy and I looked at that and I'm like, oh, yeah, but blah, blah, blah. Had a wee ego moment with that.
It's interesting because this morning there's a thing on Facebook I've signed up to, and it's a word of the day or something like that. And today's word was Herkel Durkel, which is a Scottish thing, and it means to lounge around in bed for longer periods of time than you normally would.
Nice.
And I did exactly that this morning. Swami went to work, I went and made my breakfast, and I went straight back to bed. And I was reading this
Nice.
and I cracked up. I laughed so hard. I thought, I'm kind of feeling a bit guilty now.
I like that. Herkel Durkel, that's what it's called.
I was Herkel Durkling this morning.
I like it. I'm taking that one.
Yeah.
So I wasn't able to be here last week because I did actually go to work. Had so much on that I needed to have another day to just try and sort things out. But my lesson from the week before was focus on being, I think that's right. No, it wasn't. Beg your pardon. The decision to receive is the decision to accept. And I'm not sure that I did that. So I'm going to keep that for this week, I think. Decision to receive is the decision to accept.
Yeah, it was tricky, that one.
Yeah. But very cool because it's such a short sentence with such a huge meaning in it.
Yeah.
Figure out what that meaning is, because I have done some judging this week. But, anyway, yes. So I will keep that lesson for this week.
It might be my internet's a bit dodgy because it keeps cutting out a little bit, but we'll work around that. we might only get half sentences, but we'll make up something. My lesson was you will never know that you are co-creator with God until you learn that your brother is co-creator with you. Um,
Mm.
and it's been interesting. I don't think anything out there from observing out there has changed, but my conversations with clients feel like I'm co-creating. I'm not bossing them around. I'm not telling them what to do. And it just feels like they've owned what I've suggested. And so they're co-creating with me.
Beautiful.
And it's mostly been client conversations, I think. But yeah, I don't remember any. I did journal, but that's the sum of it really, is that I feel like my conversations have been co-creating. So I like that one.
A good one.
Nice.
Hmm. Let's start reading, shall we?
Yeah.
Sure. Where did you get to?
We're up to page 176.
Oh, crikey, you did a lot last week then.
Yeah, we actually did. Let me just try and change that there. There we go. Number 4 is a big one.
Okay, I'll give it a crack.
Good on you, Gary.
You then have two conflicting evaluations of yourself. In your mind, that they cannot both be true. You do not yet realize how completely different these evaluations are because you do not understand how lofty the Holy Spirit's perception of you really is. He is not deceived by anything you do because he never forgets what you are. The ego is deceived by everything you do, especially when you respond to the Holy Spirit, because at such times its confusion increases. The ego is therefore particularly likely to attack you when you react lovingly, because it has evaluated you as unloving and you are going against its judgment. The ego will attack your motives as soon as they become clearly out of accord with its perception of you. This is when it will shift abruptly from the suspicious to viciousness, since its uncertainty is increased. Yet it's surely pointless, no, yet it is surely pointless to attack in return. What can this mean except that you are agreeing with the ego's evaluation of what you are?
Wow. I think that's the first time I've actually heard it say that the ego is, you know, firstly suspicious and then vicious.
Mm.
Mm.
But it's kind of true, isn't it? If you let your
But
Mm.
it is.
ego go out of control, it just
Mm.
becomes a power trip.
I definitely remember times in the past where I have decided that I was right and it was and and it didn't matter how much logic was thrown at me. It was I was right and I would find a way to make that right. And that's definitely ego. But I don't think I do that much anymore. Much.
Just a little bit.
A little bit. I'm sure there are times, but yes, very interesting. And I love how it says you do not realize how completely, oh, where is it? How lofty the Holy Spirit's perception of you really is. And can you
Yeah, I love
imagine
that
having,
too.
yeah, something, or someone that loves you so much that it doesn't matter what you do, they see the true you. And I think that's just beautiful.
It
Mm.
is. Do we need any further dive into this one, or do we all pretty much have it?
I'm just going to make some notes though.
Okay.
And is our job then to see that in others as the Holy Spirit sees others?
Yeah.
You know what I find curious is that oftentimes the mind will attempt to find fault. Maybe there is, an adaptation of someone's personality, and it will have forgiveness for most, but there'll be one that it will find fault with.
Yep.
That's one thing that I've noticed. I can have a broad-based acceptance, and then there'll just be one that I find I can accept it, but I'm still upset by them. Has
Mm,
anyone else experienced that?
Oh, yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Mm.
Is that a trigger
I'm sure.
to
I'm
be
sure it's because
explored?
it is some sort of a trigger of like we just had this experience with these two guys that we have hung out with. We stopped hanging out with them because we found them to be untrustworthy, and we just had this experience with them where I just was like, whenever we get we have any social interaction with them, we always walk away disappointed. This guy's okay. The other one, not so much. And I'm like, really? Like maybe they're just both okay, and is it one or the other? Why can't I just broaden that okayness out? And I just thought of that when I was reading this, is that that's because the ego is still looking at the personalities rather than at the divinity in each. And that's where it becomes suspicious and then in judgment vicious. So this was kind of really good for me.
Mm.
I do find as well that I tend to, and I guess I am judging, but I go by what people do more so than what they say. So if it doesn't agree, then I know what I
Yeah,
need to be careful of. But that's kind of judgment too, isn't it?
yeah.
That's,
Judgment.
yeah, it's kind of self-preservation that the ego requires me to is saying, hey, but is it really necessary?
But that's because
Oh,
of past triggers. It's a trigger as well, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Previous
absolutely.
experience.
Yeah, yeah.
But if we really looked at it and said whatever they do or they don't do doesn't matter, it doesn't really have to disrupt my own peace. It doesn't have to
Yeah,
do that.
yeah.
No, and it kind of makes me think of uh, 10 points that I read about life. And one of them was you can't what anyone ever says about you is not what people say about you behind your back is none of your business. So it's
Mm.
kind of a similar sort of thing. It's like you are you, and whatever anybody else does is their business for a start, and we're judging them on what it is that they're doing,
Mm.
like they're judging us on what we're doing, because it's a human reaction. Never going to
It
change.
is.
God, I'm being very negative today, aren't I? But I'm
No,
thinking, as far as being a human goes, you already have, like, right from the time that we're born, we have these. We already know what to expect when we're born. We've been inside for the 9 months. Well, I don't actually believe that. I believe that our soul comes in at a certain point in that pregnancy, but um, we're still hearing all those things that are going on around us. So we're already preconditioned by the time we're born, in my opinion. So how do, when you get to this age, whatever age that you're at, you can identify those triggers. How do you stop them to say, well, I'm not going to judge anymore? And I know we're a long way into all of this, and I'm asking these questions now, but it's because of this book that all of these questions keep appearing in my mind. So I'm constantly thinking about, how do I stop judging people? Do I look at them and judge them in a positive way, but then I'm still judging them?
Mm.
Well, one of the things that I get to is, what am I defending? Because if you're judging, you are actually defending a concept of
Yes.
yourself. You're saying to yourself, well, I'm not like that. And, they're seeing this wrong. But what we're actually defending is the illusion of our personality and the separation that we see ourselves as. We don't see ourselves as a soul that nothing can harm, no opinion matters. We see ourselves as an ego that requires defense from other egos. And that's when I start judging, is when I identify myself as that separated aspect or that separated personality, and that I have to defend that against projection and judgment from others. But that's nonsense. Ultimately, that's nonsense.
Well,
I
I
don't
guess,
think we'd judge as much if we didn't feel like we had to defend the falsehood of our egos.
yes. But I guess too, when I think back to what Swabby said, you can judge, just don't condemn.
Yeah,
Right. I love
exactly.
that.
That's what Gary said before too. Yeah. Judge but
Yeah.
don't condemn.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, it is
I
interesting.
also, what do you like, and addressing your question, Linda, when you said, what do? You choose. So once you've identified it, you get to choose how you proceed and what you think next.
And I
Mm.
do know that. This is the thing. I do know that. But it just seems to be over the last, I don't know, 10 days or so that I've been questioning everything.
Hmm.
So I've kind of reverted back to the beginning, and it's not that I've lost the answers to the lessons that we've been learning by any means, but I'm just re going back over them, I guess, and looking at them again and saying, okay, so what does this mean? What's this about? I don't know whether it's because I'm actually starting to level up,
Hmm.
or I'm taking a leap back so that I can reflect on, you know, where we've actually got to, or where I've got to. You
I think it's a
know
bit
what
from
I mean?
column A, a bit from column B.
Yeah, it's really
And
bizarre.
yeah. Um, well, and as it's all saying the same thing. It's just presenting it in different ways so that we still keep analyzing ourselves, I think, and keep leveling up, as you said. So,
Yes, it's
Really hard in situations though where someone like asks you something and you feel really attacked by it and like you have to defend yourself. And
yes,
yeah, then it's like I don't want to be around that person because then I feel defensive. And so then am I just, is that my ego? Yes. That's a bit rough. Because I just want to call it self-preservation and not deal with them.
I think
Mm.
too, because you have to look at, um, not only are you don't judge, but there's something going on in their life at that time. There's something happening at that time for them to be that particular way, especially if you know them really well. So, there's all that sort of stuff that's been happening lately too. So that's why I've kind of taken a step backwards so that I can look at the forward. Probably doesn't make any sense at all, but it's that, I mean, that's clear in my mind, to be able to look at what is actually happening in that person's life for them to react that way or be that way, or what have you. And And I mean, I'll give an example. Like the last week or so, Swabby and I have been going through stuff, and that's because this weekend is not only my son's would have been my son's 23rd birthday, but next Wednesday is when his very dear friend died a year ago. So there's all that going on as well, and we're trying to just get on and do as we normally do, but then there's all this other stuff, and there's all this stuff going on in your head, and then when there's a reaction, there's a counteraction, and there's a and then things are said that shouldn't have been said, and then there's and then you're trying not to make it into something too huge, so not letting it go on for too long. It's like, okay, so cup of tea, let's have a biscuit. Just sort of little things like that, just to kind of pep it up again. So I guess that's where I've been coming from, is like, I'm trying to take a step back to look forward to the point where we are now, to be able to say, okay, so what's happening, what's going on, how do we get through, how do we support each other when both people are going through a similar thing at the same time? Because that's difficult. It's easier to support somebody when you've not got anything going on, but when you're both going through something, you're looking for that way to support that person and wanting the support back. I guess that's the ego, isn't it?
Well, sometimes we absolutely, yes, it is ego, but sometimes, our nervous system, we're also in a body with a nervous system with biology of emotions and neuropeptides and, cortisol and adrenaline, and all of it is running in our bodies at the same time. And it's known that dumps of cortisol and adrenaline when we're in fear or anger or some PTSD aspect shuts down the frontal lobes and you can't think. So we have to also be, I think, considerate of ourselves and how we navigate through our emotional states, because it is the emotions that can derail us and are challenging to manage. But can it be done? Yeah, absolutely. I think in the middle of the storm of an emotional response, that what I believe we need to practice, or I need to practice, is how do I get back to oneness in my mind? Like, how do I just get back to oneness and look at whoever it is that there's a challenge with and say, ultimately, at the end of the day, none of this matters.
And it's interesting, and I appreciate you saying that, because that's what I've been doing in the last couple of days. And even though there's still been this emotive thing going on, because he's very emotive, I'm very emotive. And so I've just thought to myself, well, you know what is this like? What, do I just pack my bags and leave? Well, that's not what this is about. This is about other stuff that's going on. So we deal with it, we manage it together. So anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make that all about me.
No,
but
Linda,
I
that's
needed to
why.
give that example to because I felt, I was thinking maybe what I said earlier was kind of a little bit weird, like that I'm sort of taking a step back to figure out what's actually going on, looking through all my lessons again and seeing where we're going and all that sort of stuff. But of course, when you are in a time where it is an emotive time, you do that. You want to start reevaluating everything, I suppose. But that TMRT session that we did, Gary, has been amazing. And I'm sorry that I haven't actually given a report back prior to now, but I needed to get to this time to be able to see how that was going to affect things. And it's been amazing, because usually
Awesome.
June, July is a nightmare, and August really is too. But it's been incredibly amazing.
I'm really happy to hear that, Linda. But the bottom line, I think, of this group specifically is this is where we can bring a question about how our day-to-day life can fit into the interpretation of A Course in Miracles, how the Course in Miracles can retranslate something that we go through. Because if we can't apply the Course in the trenches of our own lives, then it becomes an empty book of dogma. This has to be a place where we can actually really apply it. And Robert does this really wonderful thing for me. If I ever, excuse the language, lose my shit for any reason, and we're in an argument, he'll look at me and he'll go, I do not want to. He'll look at me very sadly and he says, I do not want to spend one more moment in disagreement with you because we do not know how many breaths we have left.
Yeah,
And
beautiful.
I do not want to spend one of them in disconnection.
Mm.
And I'm like, how did you get to
Powerful.
be who you are? You know, when I met you, you were drinking 5 gallons of Coke a day. You know, it's like, how did you get to be so bloody awake? He says, well, you taught me stuff. Yeah. And now you've surpassed where I am because you can bring yourself back to the center and teach me back. And it's a beautiful thing.
It
Um,
is
but
beautiful.
I do think that's what we have to do for one another.
Yeah.
We have to remind each other when we drop our own light that, or when our partners drop their light, like we have to pick it up and say, I don't want to waste one more breath in this disconnection because you're too precious to me. Our time is too precious and our breaths are finite.
I did that in a different way yesterday. I actually wrote a poem and sent it to him. So he hasn't commented on it yet, but the change has shown me something that it did. So it was the same sort of thing. Instead of me actually saying verbally, I sent this poem through. So it's kind of interesting how that can make a big difference.
Absolutely. Remember, there's only one thing that any of us want ever in this body and in the appearance of separation that we're all in, is that we desire more than anything to be connected by love.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
if we melt all of the separating arguments of our ego away and we just return to love and acknowledge that, I think that's one of the most powerful ways to overcome the ego in the most triggering of environments, which is being in a relationship with another person.
Mm. Yeah.
And Linda, anniversaries are just tough.
Mm.
They are what they are, and allow it to be, honor it.
Oh, absolutely. There's
Right?
celebration going on. Yeah.
Oh, well, great. That's even better.
Yeah.
Even better. But our humanness, it's times in grief I don't, we're not supposed to rise above our humanness and grief. Um, and, so I'm feeling for you.
Well, I think it's the minute that you stop remembering is the minute that they're lost.
Oh,
So
yes.
the whole
Yes.
remembering thing is like it's every day, but it's how you react to that, And there's times when I allow myself to have the tears because it needs to happen. It's such a cleansing process to
Yes.
cry. But it's the whole remembering,
Yes.
and
Yes.
just that you stop remembering is when they're lost.
Right. Sure.
Mm.
Mm.
Anywho, for my therapy session, everybody, I think we need to move on to the next paragraph, don't we? Thank you. I
I think
appreciate
everyone got
everything that's
value
been.
for that, Linda.
Yeah.
Everyone got value from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah. And hello, Jane. Thank you.
Yes,
Hello,
Hi,
hello,
and
Jane.
Jane.
I'm sorry I could not be here any sooner than I got here, and I thought about, well, I shouldn't come with just a half hour to spare, but I said I really want to, so forgive me and thank you.
No
Nothing to
forgiveness
forgive.
necessary.
Mm. Absolutely.
Who wants to read number 5? It's a nice short one.
I'll do it.
Go, Coralie.
Okay. If you choose to see yourself as unloving, you will not be happy. You are condemning yourself and must therefore regard yourself as inadequate. Would you look to the ego to help you escape from a sense of inadequacy it has produced and must maintain for its existence? Can you escape from its evaluation of you by using its methods for keeping this picture intact? It just shows the,
Mm.
yeah,
No, but isn't that the way of the world?
yes.
Mm.
Mm,
Just shows it for its ridiculousness, doesn't it?
it does.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone ever ask the question why we have the ego? I'm asking a lot of questions this time around, aren't I?
Questions are great.
Good for you.
Is
Good
it
for
that,
us.
is it that fight or flight? Oh no, not fight or flight. The like the survival thing. Is it about survival? Having the
Mm-hmm.
ego
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and all of
I don't think we could take a body and not have an ego to protect it.
Mm.
Mm.
So I think the incarnation into a human form requires a a, a devotion to protecting the body from demise. And so in order to do that, we have to have an identity, one that we wish to protect and one that we would fight for.
Mm,
And I think that's part of it. I also think that as we travel through time and space and in different bodies, we're almost like Voyager. You know, we collect different impressions from everything that we experience. And those different impressions based upon that and our travels, we develop almost like, you know, well, it's kind of like the Akashic records. We develop this identity of separation through time and all the experiences that our soul has gone through. And so that becomes this solidification of how we see ourselves as separate. And the only way to, of course, pierce that veil is to see that it's not real. And now that's a big deal because I don't, well, in my own experience, I don't think that we can see it as not real unless we're gifted with such grace that we have an experience or are moments of time that we experience oneness with God. And then we can step out of our collection of experiences and our individuation and think none of what I've experienced is actually real.
mm,
It's experiences, but it's not who I am. I'm that animating principles within those bodies that had those experiences, but who I am is not the experience. I'm the experiencer, not the experience. I think for me anyway, speaking for myself, I lose that perspective. I lose that perspective that I am the one that's experiencing,
mm.
but I'm not what I experience.
Mm.
Yeah, and you know that makes perfect sense. Mm.
I don't think I've ever said that before.
Yeah, no, it's
I
very
like it a whole lot.
Mm.
same same.
Mm. Now, if I could only just remember it, that would be the trick now, wouldn't it?
We've got it recorded.
Oh, good. Someone can remind me when I go off the rails. Gary, you're just the experiencer. The experience isn't real.
Are we done with that one then?
I think we are.
Should we squeeze number 6 in?
We should.
All right.
Squeeze away.
I will read that one. You cannot evaluate an insane belief system from within it. Its range precludes this. You can only go beyond it, look back from a point where sanity exists, and see the contrast. Only by this contrast can insanity be judged as insane. With the grandeur of God in you, you have chosen to be little and to lament your littleness. Within the system that dictated this choice, the lament is inevitable. Your littleness is taken for granted there, and you do not ask, who granted it? The question is meaningless within the ego's thought system because it would open the whole thought system to question. And questioning is what you were doing so well today, Linda.
Yes, and can only go beyond it, look back from a point where sanity exists and see the contrast.
Perfect.
Oh my God, I love this book. Honestly, it just, you ask the question, you get the answer, really, don't you? It might take a week, a couple of weeks or whatever, but yeah, insanely unreal. Mm.
I love this one line. With the grandeur of God in you, you have chosen to be little and to lament your littleness.
Mm.
I kind of feel like this group is about remembering that we're not little, actually. So this is our little reminder.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just love even the first line of that one. You cannot evaluate an insane belief system from within it.
Mm.
Mm.
Which is what Linda's been saying the whole time, isn't it? Stepping back.
Yeah. Yeah, this just summarizes everything so beautifully.
Mhm.
And it would be the paragraph we ended tonight on, which
It
is
would be,
very
yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. And I don't
So
even
we
know that we
were,
need to break it up because really this is what we've been talking about the whole time.
yeah.
We created this. We
Interesting
co-created.
how our calls end up
Yep.
going. It's just,
Mhm.
Perfect. So
So
who's got a lesson?
I personally am going to stick to my same one
Yep.
because that to me is the key to my peace.
Mm.
And what is that, Gary?
To judge another is a choice to continue the separation from God. Choose wisely.
Okay. Yes.
I'm
Beautiful.
sticking with mine, of course, from a couple of weeks ago. The decision to receive is the decision to accept.
Yeah, that's a good one. Carly?
I'm going to do, you do not understand how lofty the Holy Spirit's perception of you really is.
Wow.
Mm.
That's what I've got too.
Ah,
And the last bit, and the
but
second one, he is not deceived by anything you do because he never forgets what you are. Beautiful.
Mhm.
We're
Yeah,
on the
I
same
love
plane there,
that.
Carly.
right.
Nice.
Good.
Jane, have you managed to
Well,
pick something up that you're going to take
I
away with the
have, yes. Well, yeah, of course, I really have to go with I am the experiencer, but I am not my experience.
Mm.
Yeah,
That really does it for me.
beautiful. I need to stop
Hmm.
sharing.
To write that down myself too.
That's what you
Joey, do
said.
you have? Yeah, I know. Joey, do you have one that you landed on? You don't have to, but if you do, have the
I uh,
opportunity.
I was sitting outside for a few, trying to enjoy the night, so I did not have a pen and paper handy. But the first sentence of 5 and 6 were both pretty nice. I don't know which one I'm going to go with yet, though.
Okay.
Go with both of them, Joe.
Be
Can
greedy.
do it.
Don't make me multitask.
Now I have
So
two posts.
next week, Linda's going to run the show. So beware, there'll be a different link. So but I guess you can share that in the messenger stream. Jane, do you see that messenger stream? So you can keep an eye on
Yes,
that. Yeah, cool. All
That's a
yes.
right.
good point. How long do you get for free Zoom? Because I don't pay for Zoom
I'll
anymore.
do it. I
Oh,
do.
40.
So
Oh,
I'll
you
do it.
do? Oh,
Yeah.
thanks,
Yeah,
Carly.
because it'll shut off at 45 minutes.
Yeah,
A
that's what I was
right.
free
thinking.
account. Yeah.
Yes, it does. Yep.
So someone that's got more than 45 minutes on their Zoom account, they should probably be the one doing it.
Thanks,
Okay,
Carly.
So
Carly.
both he and I are going to be missing 2 Tuesdays, the 15th and the 22nd. And then we'll go from there.
22nd and the
Okay.
29th, today's the 15th. You're
Yeah.
not missing
Yeah. That
today.
because I'm going
Oh my God,
to.
no, I'm not, am I? You're absolutely right. What a brilliant thing I just said. I still want to be here on the 29th. I just forgot about it.
I may or may not make it. It all depends whether I get home in time for it.
Well, you have a
So
fantastic trip.
Vietnam,
Thanks.
Yeah.
yeah, I've always wanted to go to Vietnam, so I'm just
Yeah,
happy that you get to go.
it's going to be
Thanks.
Is
hot.
that where you're going, V?
Hot,
Yes,
hot,
yes,
hot.
for a week with my Vietnamese girlfriend
Oh,
who
even
hasn't been
better.
there
I mean,
since she was a child. So,
Do I know
wow.
her by chance, V?
what's that?
Do I know her by chance?
No, I don't think you met Kim.
Okay,
Little
because
Kim,
I
but
met
Linda
someone from
does.
Perth named Kim, and she was Asian. I didn't know if she was Vietnamese or not, and she came did some of the training, so it must not be her. Okay.
No, it's probably there's lots of Kims who are Vietnamese. I think it's a very popular name. So, yeah,
And
Yeah.
in Korea, Kim is huge.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All right.
You guys have a
Look
wonderful
forward
time.
to
Thank you
seeing
so
you
much for
Yeah.
all
next
your wonderful words today. I so appreciate it, and I love you all. And have a great
week.
Oh,
time away,
you
Gary and
are the,
V, and we'll see everybody else next week.
You love
Sure.
up on
yes,
your man,
I'm
yes.
sorry?
Linda. Just love up on your man.
Yeah, he's so weird.
Bye, Joey.
Love you
Thanks,
guys.
Okay,
everybody.
gang.
Bye.
See
Mwah.
ya.
Bye.
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 Bye.